Thank you, Premier Palliser. Next, I would like to invite to the podium Mayor Brian Bowman.
Thanks very much. How's everybody doing today? Woo! I was out in Halifax for the FCM conference. I had to fly back here to join you and my council colleague, Councillor Brian Mays, who's going to be walking with us. And I'm thrilled to once again be walking in solidarity as an ally with each and every one of you. I want to thank everybody for helping put this on today. The sun's coming out. It's going to be a beautiful walk. You know, it's been a busy few years for us at the City of Winnipeg as we do our part to build a more inclusive community and city that we can all be proud to call home. And I want to acknowledge and thank the good work of so many city departments who are doing their part on everything from accessible design to diversity training to a number of the other initiatives that I know many of you have been helping work collaboratively with us on over the last couple of years. You're probably wondering, okay, Brian, what's the deal with the shirt? So I'm going to tell you, I asked my friend Leonard Taylor to paint me a shirt that celebrated the diversity that we have here in Winnipeg. So if you look around the shirt, you'll see lots of different colors, just like each of you have on you right now. I also got a shirt made by some folks who are celebrating what we're celebrating here today. And it's a very simple message that you may have heard one of our Winnipeg Jets say: Winnipeg is good. And the reason Winnipeg is good is because of you and because of people who have fought for the rights that we protect and we hold dearly for many, many years. Now, what you may not know is I'm Winnipeg's 43rd mayor. And before me, Winnipeg's 41st mayor was the world's first openly gay mayor in any city in the world, and he's Glenn Murray, and he's traveled back here to walk with you today. Woo! And I want you to give a big Winnipeg Whiteout cheer, and let's give it up for Glenn Murray, folks.
It is so wonderful to be back home with you. I want to just say a very few things. I want to thank Mayor Bowman, who is a dear friend, for his support for our community and for all communities. The journey of being our first Métis Indigenous mayor has some similarities. We live at a certain intersection in our life, and many of you who are both Indigenous and queer would understand that. It's not easy to pioneer in those kinds of spaces. But one of the things that we were talking about earlier is I'd like us to change the way we do LGBTQ TSI and start saying TS LGBTQI and recognize the foundational role of two-spirited people as the foundation of our community and put them at the front. So can we do that this year from now on? The second thing of three things that I want to say is when I started my political career here in the 80s, we were running needle exchange programs, Village Clinic. We were in the really dark early days of the AIDS epidemic. And my first 10 years in Winnipeg, I lost 43 friends to that epidemic. They would have never imagined the view from up here today. And that is in my adult lifetime. It wasn't very long ago. At that time, people lost their jobs for being gay. People got kicked out of apartments for being gay. There were people who were murdering gay people with ball-peen hammers in the park down here and got off scot-free on it. People marched in the first Pride Parade in '86 when I was on the organizing committee wearing paper bags on their head, and you couldn't find a politician to be found or a corporate sponsor, never mind a float. And why do we have all the rights we do to parent, to raise our children, to have the jobs and make the contributions we want? Simply because of what you're doing today. Holding the hand of the person you love and walking proudly and equally down the streets of your community without fear. Rather than talking about gay and lesbian and transgender and two-spirited people as they and them, owning it and proudly saying, I and me and never they and them. And finally, we need to raise all of our brothers and sisters up from every minority because we all should be able to live for the people we love and the things we hope for. We should never, ever again have to live for the things we fear and the people we are afraid of. And the final thing I want to say, and the third thing, because you should never say more than 3 things in a speech. Together, straight, gay, Métis, Indigenous, Cree, Ojibwe, Ukrainian, Black, Chinese, this incredibly Punjabi, I could go through the whole list. We have built the best human rights museum in the world, the most beautiful bridges, the best arena, the most amazing convention center, the most amazing airport. We have the best friggin' hockey team in the whole country, one of the best art scenes, the best bands, the most beautiful architecture, the funnest people, and we are in the coolest geography in the country. You have built this, Winnipeg. Lots of people said that arena was too small. Lots of people said the museum was never get big. A lot of people think that a $25,000 toilet cost $1 million. People will believe anything. Don't let the naysayers and the squelchers get you down. Nihil illegitimai carborundum. Don't get the bees let you down. Stand up. Be proud. Dream. You can do everything and anything you want. You can be anything you want. And you've got a mayor right now who believes in you and has your back. And that's a gift. And a premier who's out here with us today in a big way. And I want to thank Premier Pallister as well. God bless. Keep you safe. Miigwech. Brother McLeod, thank you for the invitation.
So if you wanna celebrate Winnipeg being good and you want some funds going to the Rainbow Resource Center, we're gonna be talking on social media in the coming days about how you can get your hands on a Winnipeg is Good. You'll probably look a lot better in it than I do right now. And stay tuned for that. Let's give it up for Glenn Murray, folks. Have a wonderful day.
Woo!
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite a special guest to speak today. I'd like to invite Mohammed Asim, who is the VP of Community Engagement with Pride Winnipeg Festival.
Hello everyone, happy Pride to all of you. My name is Mohammed Hassan and my pronouns are he, him and his. And I am so excited to be here this day. And those of you who know me, they know very well that English is not my first language, so I will be looking at my notes unlike the speakers before me. So please pardon me for that. This is so awesome for me, and I'm so honored to be here with you all, and even more honored to be a small part of such a great organization of amazing volunteers, which is Pride Winnipeg. Can we hear for the amazing volunteers of Pride Winnipeg who work day and night to make this community visibility possible? And this year's theme is very special to me, considering that last year was my first Pride here in Canada. And this is my first Pride as organizer of Pride Winnipeg. When I was in school and younger, I always thought, when will be the right time for me to march on street and tell the world that I am proud to be whoever I am. I am not ashamed, I'm not afraid of my identity. But today is the day to tell the world that this brown boy, the newcomer through Canada, is proud to be whoever he is. And it's because of you all. It's because of the pride. It's because of the pride we all have within us that today I'm here standing in front of you, telling you, wishing you happy Pride. Now, let's not forget that pride and celebration is a privilege. And not everyone around the world who belongs to GSRD community is privileged enough to celebrate prides. And when you will be marching down the streets, when you will be celebrating today, don't forget that living in Canada and being true to yourself and being proud about your identity is definitely a privilege. A privilege that people who have been living in Canada for long have forgotten perhaps. The reality is that there are many people around this globe who don't have this privilege. There are many people around this world who cannot celebrate. While I'm talking, my home country's people are celebrating a Pride picnic down in some really, really remote location, together as one, but they cannot tell the rest of the world about their gender and sexual identity. We need to remember that there are people around the world, the community, that is being criminalized for being true to themselves, for being true to their identity. So when you march today, just remember that. When I was telling my friends and my partner back home that I will be speaking to you all today, they told me to tell you something. And I'm going to read it from my notes. They told me to take this opportunity and they suggested that how lucky Canadians are, how lucky we all are for being able to celebrate our identity, for being able to love whoever we want to love. They made me promise to remember all GRCT activists who were killed, disappeared, or illegally detained for raising their voices for their community. So I take this opportunity to remember every global activist for LGBTQ+ activism around the world who were killed, detained, or disappeared for raising their voice for their community. And I will take this opportunity every now and again to remind you all Canadians that this is a privilege to be here, to show up and be out and be proud. So when you march today, don't forget that. And remember that the Pride is the celebration of the world. And I demand that next time when you show up for Pride, remember the people around the globe. And remember that if you have a privilege, use your privilege to help those who cannot use that privilege. I thank you all. Happy Pride.